Welcome back to Terror and Urban Myths.
Mm.
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and give this episode a like.
Yes.
Tonight, we're diving into a phenomenon that has sent chills down spines for centuries.
Right.
Ghostly lights.
Yeah, these mysterious illuminations, they pop up in cultures all around the world.
Oh, wow.
Often tied to locations with a heavy history or shrouded in some kind of tragic event.
So we're not talking about just your everyday flickering light bulb, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
These lights defy easy explanations.
Okay.
Let's consider the case of a young man visiting his in-laws' old house.
Okay.
He's feeling a strange sense of unease, and perhaps jokingly asks if the house could be haunted.
Oh.
As soon as the words leave his lips, a ceiling light flickers on and off, as if responding to his very question.
Oh, that's unsettling,
Yeah.
to say the least. And it gets even stranger when we consider reports of these lights in more remote locations.
Right.
Take, for instance, a group of friends enjoying a casual night out at a lake.
Uh-huh.
Suddenly, they're confronted by strange lights in the water,
Yeah.
moving erratically and seemingly reacting to their flashlight beams.
Whoa.
The night spirals into a terrifying experience with unexplained sounds, culminating in the disappearance of one of their friends.
Oh my gosh.
These accounts suggest that these lights aren't just random occurrences.
Right.
They seem to interact with people,
Yeah.
almost as if they have a purpose.
It's true, and that's what makes them so unnerving.
It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
is it just a coincidence that these lights appear when people are present?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they somehow drawn to us?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy to jump to supernatural conclusions,
Sure.
but surely there are some rational explanations for these phenomena.
Right. Of course, skeptics often point to natural occurrences like swamp gas or unusual atmospheric conditions.
Okay.
Sometimes even tricks of the light can play on our perceptions.
Right.
But there are many cases where these explanations simply don't fit.
Like in the case of the young man in the old house. Even after searching for logical explanations for the flickering light, he couldn't shake the feeling of unease.
Yeah, and the disappearance of the friend at the lake adds another layer of complexity.
Oh, wow.
It becomes much harder to dismiss the entire experience as simply a misinterpretation of natural phenomena when there are real consequences.
So if we move beyond the realm of the natural, what are some of the supernatural interpretations of these ghostly lights?
Well, there are many theories circulating.
Okay.
Some believe these lights are spirits attempting to communicate. They're flickering a form of language we don't yet understand.
Wow.
Others see them as residual energy from past events,
Interesting.
perhaps echoing moments of intense emotion or trauma that have left an imprint on a location.
Like a ghostly echo replaying a fragment of the past?
Precisely.
That's amazing.
It's a fascinating concept that places themselves can hold on to the energy of what has transpired within them.
Okay.
And these lights are a visual manifestation of that lingering energy.
And then there's the more fringe theory, the one that truly sparks the imagination, gateways to other dimensions.
Now we're talking.
Now that's venturing into uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Are we talking about portals to other worlds?
It might sound like science fiction, but some believe that certain locations, perhaps due to their history or unique energy signatures,
Okay.
become thin points between dimensions.
Thin points.
These lights, according to this theory, could be glimpses into those other realities,
Wow.
flickering at the edges of our perception.
It's mind-boggling to even consider.
It is.
But how do we differentiate between the very real fear and uncertainty people experience in these situations and the stories and myths that surround these lights?
Right.
It seems like fear itself could amplify the whole experience, making it hard to separate fact from fiction.
That's an important point. The power of belief and fear can't be underestimated. Our minds are incredibly powerful. And when confronted with the unknown, they tend to fill in the blanks,
Oh.
often in ways that heighten the fear factor.
So even if some sightings have natural explanations, the fear and uncertainty felt by the witnesses are real and valid.
Absolutely.
We can't simply dismiss their experiences because we don't have all the answers.
The psychological impact of these encounters is undeniable.
Right.
Imagine the young man in the old house questioning his sanity, or the group of friends at the lake forever haunted by the disappearance of their friend.
It's true.
These experiences leave lasting scars regardless of whether or not we can find a scientific explanation.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
Are these lights simply natural phenomena we haven't fully understood yet?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they something more?
Yeah.
Something that hints at a reality beyond our comprehension?
It's a question that has haunted humanity for centuries, and one that we may never fully answer.
Wow.
But it's through exploring these questions, through examining the evidence and considering all possibilities, that we expand our understanding of the world and perhaps ourselves.
It's amazing, isn't it? We'll continue to delve into these questions in just a moment. But first, a quick reminder to our listeners.
Yes.
If you're enjoying this episode of Terror and Urban Myths, please subscribe and give us a like.
Please do.
It really helps us out. We'll be right back after a short break.
Okay. What I find particularly fascinating is how these stories tap into our primal fears. The darkness, the unknown, the possibility of something lurking just beyond our perception.
Yeah.
These are all deeply embedded in the human psyche.
It's that feeling you get when you're walking alone at night and hear a sudden rustle in the bushes.
Right.
Your heart races, your senses heighten, and for a moment, you're convinced something is out there watching you.
Yeah.
These stories play on that very primal fear, don't they?
Absolutely. They remind us of our vulnerability, our place in a world that we may not fully understand or control.
Okay.
And that can be a powerful and unsettling feeling, even if it's just a story.
So are we saying that all ghostly lights are just figments of our imagination? Products of our overactive minds trying to make sense of the world around us?
Not necessarily. It's important to remember that many of these accounts come from credible witnesses who genuinely believe they have experienced something unexplained. While psychological and environmental factors can certainly play a role, we also have to be open to the possibility that something truly inexplicable is happening.
We can't dismiss every story as a hallucination or a hoax.
Right.
There are simply too many accounts from people who have seen and experienced things that defy conventional explanation.
If we take a step back and consider the bigger picture, it raises some profound questions about the nature of reality itself. What if there are layers to our existence that we're only just beginning to glimpse?
Okay.
What if these lights are in some way a window into those hidden dimensions, a crack in the fabric of our perceived reality?
That's a truly mind-blowing concept.
It is.
It takes us beyond the fear factor and into the realm of existential questions about a universe and our place within it.
That's one of the things I find most compelling about this topic.
Yeah.
It forces us to confront the boundaries of our knowledge, the limits of our understanding.
Okay.
It reminds us that there are things in this world, in this vast universe, that we may never fully comprehend.
Perhaps the mystery itself is part of what makes these stories so enduring.
Right.
The fact that we don't have all the answers leaves room for wonder, for speculation, for a sense of awe at the vastness of the unknown.
Perhaps, but that doesn't mean we should stop seeking answers, stop exploring the unknown.
Right.
It's that inherent curiosity, that drive to understand, that has propelled human progress for millennia.
So what advice would you give to someone who finds themselves face to face with one of these ghostly lights? What steps should they take?
First and foremost, don't panic.
Okay.
Fear can cloud judgment and make it difficult to assess the situation rationally. Instead, try to observe carefully. Take note of the details, the color, shape, and movement of the light, the surrounding environment, any sounds or sensations you experience.
Right.
And if possible, try to document the experience.
Right.
Take a photo or video if you can, or at the very least, write down everything you remember as soon as possible.
So document everything.
Yes, and remember, you're not alone.
Okay.
Countless others have had similar experiences, and sharing your story can help shed light on this enigmatic phenomenon.
That's sound advice. Document everything, stay calm, and share your story.
Exactly.
You might just hold a piece of the puzzle that helps us unlock the secrets of these ghostly lights.
That's right.
Now, you mentioned the power of stories earlier.
Yeah.
It seems like these accounts of ghostly lights, regardless of their origin, speak to something deep within us, something that transcends the boundaries of logic and reason.
Absolutely. They tap into our fascination with the unknown, the unexplainable.
Right.
They remind us that we are not simply rational beings driven solely by logic and data, but creatures of emotion, intuition, and a deep-seated sense of wonder.
In a world that often feels increasingly dominated by technology and logic, these stories offer a connection to something more primal, more mysterious.
Right.
They remind us that there are still wonders to be explored, mysteries to be unraveled, and that the universe is far vaster and more complex than we can possibly imagine.
And who knows, perhaps one day we will have the tools and the understanding to fully explain these phenomena.
Wow.
But until then, Let us embrace the wonder, the curiosity, and even the healthy dose of fear that these stories evoke.
Okay.
For it is in the face of the unknown that we truly discover the limits of our understanding and the boundless potential of the human spirit.
It's been a truly fascinating discussion.
It has.
And to our listeners, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
Have you ever encountered a ghostly light?
Let us know.
What's your take on these mysterious illuminations?
Right.
Share your stories and thoughts with us.
We'd love to hear them.
We may feature them in a future episode of Terror and Urban Myths. It's like these stories serve as a reminder of how much we still don't know about the world around us.
Right.
There's a certain humility in acknowledging that isn't there.
Absolutely. We live in an age of scientific advancement.
Right.
But the reality is we've barely scratched the surface of understanding the true nature of reality.
These stories of ghostly lights, whether rooted in scientific phenomena or something more paranormal, remind us that there are still mysteries out there waiting to be unraveled.
It's true.
And sometimes those mysteries can be right in our own backyards, hidden in the shadows of familiar places. It makes you look at the world a little differently, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It encourages us to question our assumptions, to be open to the possibility that things aren't always what they seem.
Okay.
These stories challenge our perception of what's real and what's not, blurring the lines between the known and the unknown.
It's almost as if these stories are a way for us to grapple with the bigger questions about life, death, and what might lie beyond.
It's true.
They offer a glimpse into a realm where the rules we take for granted might not apply.
Exactly. They tap into our deepest fears and fascinations, prompting us to contemplate the nature of consciousness, the possibility of an afterlife, and the existence of forces beyond our understanding.
And in that sense, these stories become more than just spooky tales.
Right.
They become a reflection of our own search for meaning, our desire to understand our place in the universe.
Precisely. They remind us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves.
Okay.
Something that we may never fully comprehend, but that continues to inspire awe and wonder.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground tonight exploring the phenomenon of ghostly lights from both scientific and supernatural perspectives.
We have.
And while we may not have all the answers, it's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
Into the realm of the unexplained.
Indeed, and hopefully it sparks some curiosity in our listeners.
I hope so.
Encouraging them to keep an open mind and to explore the mysteries that surround us.
And to our listeners, we want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Terror and Urban Myths.
Yes, thank you.
If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like.
Please.
It helps other curious minds find us and join the conversation.
Until next time.
Right.
Keep exploring the shadows, and remember, sometimes the most fascinating truths lie hidden in the darkness.